Maybe you've collected more than a few bottles of Middle Eastern fragrances, and maybe you're like me and have an unhealthy obsession with these high-value offerings from overseas inspired by a lot of this awesome Middle Eastern history. I feel like the natural progression of a fragrance collector and blogger is to slowly seek after these more expensive and eventually niche fragrances. But not everyone's ready to take that plunge and spend maybe $300–400 per fragrance. Well, come here. I found the perfect middle ground. I want to show you a Middle Eastern niche fragrance house whose fragrances retail for around $200 each, but you can actually find them for around $70. So let's check them out. Hey guys, it's Eli with Common Sense. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you're joining me. If this is your first time watching the video, I'd love to welcome you. Just stick around and I'm sure you'll find something that you'll love. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Today, we're gonna be covering the house of the ATTAR collection. ATTAR collection is actually a relatively new Middle Eastern Dubai niche fragrance house. Wow, that is a mouthful. But you can tell that they put a lot of pride and care into these really high quality bottles and these fragrances that a lot of people just frankly should be going crazy for. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about these, but who knows, maybe that'll change. So according to them, a lot of their fragrances are often Oriental and Western fragrances inspired by Arabic culture and heritage. So the really cool thing about these is that all of the fragrances were created by a famous design team and a perfumer who remains anonymous to this day. So you got some really high quality offerings with that Middle Eastern heritage and a bit of mystery behind the perfumers. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. The first one that we're going to be taking a look at is ATTAR Collection's Khaltat Night. Totally meant to say Khaltat, not Khalat. So as you can see, these boxes are absolutely fantastic. The quality and the build of these is something that you'd find in the $300–400 range with a lot of other niche perfumes. And at the $200 price tag, this definitely checks out. But again, like I said in the title, you can find a lot of these for $70, which is a steal. We've got a very hefty kind of wooden box that lifts up. We've got a beautiful velvet lining on the inside as well as the outside, and that gold flake just, man, that just really pops and it looks absolutely stunning in the right light when it catches it. But look at these stunning bottles. They are definitely very heavy, hefty, and high quality. Same thing with the cap. So I really love this fragrance bottle and the cap design because it kind of reflects some of that Middle Eastern architecture and it really just shows some of the history and the architecture behind it. And I'm in construction and architecture, so I can appreciate that kind of stuff. So Khaltat Night, as well as all of the other fragrances on this list, these are 100 ml eau de parfums. Oh guys, this smells absolutely incredible. This stuff's got top notes of cherry and red apple with middle notes of vanilla, jasmine, and a base of amber, cinnamon, musk, clover, and patchouli. So right up off the top, you have an amazing, deep, dark cherry. It's extremely boozy and it just smells amazing on the skin. Look at that atomizer, look at this. Super high quality atomizer, super high quality juice. This is going to be my fall staple for sure. This is gonna be in like my top 3 rotations for the fall. My God, that just smells amazing. You have a really interesting boozy quality here at the same time mixed with that kind of dark black cherry. This reminds me a little bit of a cross between Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and By Killian's Angel Share. So I actually just made a YouTube short about layering Maison Alhambra's Lost Lovely Cherry. Yes, Lovely Cherry and Kismet Angel. Those two are perfect together and I feel like this sort of picks up on that same vibe. Just a beautiful, dark, spicy, fruity opening up top. And actually, as this comes down on the skin, you do get a little bit more of that creamy jasmine here. The jasmine isn't too overbearing, but this plays really nice with the other notes and kind of supports them. But I can't emphasize how warm and sweet and just spiced this smells. I think the clover and the cinnamon in this are absolutely fantastic. That really strong kind of fall pumpkin spiced, you know, just winter vibe. And I think this is gonna be perfect for the fall. Yeah, definitely fall vibes in a bottle. And I feel like as it dries down, you get a little bit more tobacco and it blends really nicely with that cinnamon and the clove. And as it dries down, you get a little bit more of that patchouli, and when it combines with that cinnamon, it just gives a really nice depth. And it's not listed, but I actually do feel like I get quite a bit of tobacco from this one, again, in the dry down, and it starts to smell a little bit more of a grown-up version of Burberry's London. You know, that really cool men's winter fragrance with the little Burberry flannel? Yeah, that one. It smells like a much more grown-up version of that with some really interesting cherry and some kind of cool fruity nuances. But I would pick this over that in a heartbeat. But all in all, this is a classy and extremely masculine fragrance, and I think it's gonna be amazing in this cooler weather. So we had a couple days of cooler weather and I got to bust out the hoodie, and you know what that means. We're pulling out the fall stunners. But man, I just kind of imagine a cozy, warm cottage in the fog as you kind of walk in smelling all the fall spices and you pour yourself a nice glass of cognac. That's what I get out of this one. So actually, I've been wearing this one all week, and in terms of projection, you go great for about 4 to 5 hours and you can still smell it in the air well after an entire workday. This stuff lasts well over 12 hours if you give it a really good spraying, and it's just incredible when you smell it in the air. That sillage, that beautiful scent bubble and trail around you. You're gonna have people leaning in for a smell. But again, very masculine and warm. But if you're a confident woman who loves to wear dark, spicy, and cozy fragrances, you will be very happy with this one. And that one is ATTAR Collection's Khaltat Night. So up next, we're looking at Crystal Love for Him. Look at how stunning these boxes are. I mean, I gotta just hand it to them. The way that the foil catches the light, it's absolutely incredible. So originally I was gonna pick up 2 of these fragrances, but I ended up picking up this one as my 3rd one because of a really interesting ice cream note in there. I saw that and I was like, I gotta try that out. This one's got top notes of bergamot and citrus with middle notes of cinnamon, that really cool ice cream note, as well as some other florals, and a base of ambergris, patchouli, and leather. So originally when I saw these notes, I was trying to work it out in my head and picture what all of this could smell like together, because you have quite a bit of florals, you have that ice cream, as well as patchouli and leather. I thought, that sounds a little bit out there. I want to try that. But man, you get a blast of citrus, ambergris, and fruits up top. Just a super photorealistic fresh fruit bowl. I kind of picture a really fancy fresh fruit bowl kind of laying out on like a tropical cruise. You get the salty sea air from the ambergris and that kind of oceanic notes, but also mixed with that really nice fresh citrus, bergamot, and fruit notes. I also feel like there's some cherry in this. It was unlisted, and I think Fragrantica may have shown that on there. It's unlisted, it's not in the official note breakdown, but I pick up on that. But man, that musk really jumps off the strip and on your skin, and it comes off as a really cozy, kind of skin-like fragrance, especially once it dries down. But man, it does carry quite a bit of a punch when you first spray it. It smells a little bit strange up top and just a tad bit harsh, especially when you first spray it. Give it a few minutes, let it settle down like all fragrances, and once it starts to settle down, it becomes much more cozy. I also notice on this dry down, the patchouli and the leather really come out, and it smells a little bit retro, something like you'd find in maybe the early 2000s, but I think that ambergris really comes out, and once it settles down, it becomes more salty, and it really complements those kind of patchouli and leather kind of retro tones. But I gotta say, I'm quite pleased with how all of the notes combine, especially on the dry down, because the ice cream, leather, and the cherry, they really play nice together, and it works really, really cool here. It just smells really retro and modern at the same time. After a full day of wearing, I've found out that that leather and the patchouli kind of give me the same vibes as Mugler's Angel, so you could definitely pull this off if you're a woman or somebody who likes that kind of vibe. But again, I've worn this for a couple days, and I really like how this smells because, again, that nice salty oceanic ambergris gives it a slight aquatic vibe, and it just comes off extremely unique here. This stuff lasts a really long time, and it tends to last around 10 hours on my skin, which is pretty fantastic because a lot of fragrances I test only last about 6 hours or so if I'm lucky. And I guess stuff tends to last a little bit less on my skin, but if it can last over 6 hours, and in this case 10 hours, I'm really happy. And if you spray it on your clothes, it'll last well over 12 hours. So if you want something really sweet, gourmand, and dark, and just extremely unique, I definitely try this one out. This one is Crystal Love for Him. And last but not least, one of my favorite releases from this house, ATTAR Collection's Musk Kashmir. So lately I've really been into some creamy, kind of sweet, musky fragrances. I've been on the hunt for something to kind of satisfy that itch. I've really been liking Initio's Musk Therapy, and lately I actually just picked up Neanderthal's Them. That one is also really fantastic, and I'm doing a fragrance review on that coming up pretty soon. But I love how sweet, delicate, and peppery that musk kind of comes off in a lot of these fragrances. So when I saw this one, Musk Kashmir, I had to pick it up. Like the first fragrance, this one is textured on the side as well as the inside. Look at how cool that bottle looks in the pure white with that kind of silver foil. Ah, love this stuff. This one puts me at ease. Easily one of the best musk fragrances I've ever smelled. So funny enough, the official note breakdown just shows pure musk as the note, but on Fragrantica, it shows a little bit more like white pepper, sandalwood, gardenia, and clove. My fan just blew that right in my nose. That's good. I'm officially gonna go nose blind for the next 3 days. I have pure musk straight up in my nostrils. But man, this one's got an incredible peppery, salty musk combined with a nice creamy quality up top. This one reminds me a little bit of a creamier, slightly sweeter version of that really unique niche fragrance, Precious Liquid Salt and Pepper. I remember I tried that one in a fragrance discovery kit from Scent Explorer. So a couple years back, I remember picking that one up. I'm looking at it right now. I see you. But I didn't expect that opening to be quite as peppery, just a little bit spicy up top. That's really cool. This stuff smells incredibly high quality and niche, especially in the opening. And as it starts to kind of settle, those creamy florals do come out a lot more and you get more of a gourmand and slightly citrusy feeling with this one. I really, really like how that gardenia note kind of mixes with the musk and the kind of peppery woods up top. Just a really, really nice powdery and kind of peppery musk that blends really nice with that kind of gardenia vibe. I feel like this one reminds me a little bit of a wild beast that you kind of slowly domesticate. It's a little bit prickly, a little bit sharp, but once you get to know it, you show it some love, it becomes a lot softer and more accepting. And pretty soon it's sitting in your lap and you're sharing that warmth together. That's what I kind of get with this one. Maybe that wasn't the best analogy because this is not animalistic. This is clean, soapy, floral, and peppery. So if you've ever smelled Michael Malul's Ocean Noir, which is one of the best men's summer fragrances for around 80 bucks that smells like 3 times its price, it smells almost identical in the dry down. You kind of share some of that musk, amberwood, and blue notes, but it's very powdery and warm towards the end, keeping some of those musky and creamy woods, but very vanillic and lactonic. So with 2 or 3 sprays of this one, you're getting around 5 hours of projection. You can still smell it on your skin long after an 8-hour workday, sometimes over 12 hours, honestly, especially if you kind of spray it on your clothes. But I absolutely love this one, and it's become one of my favorite musk fragrances. That one's ATTAR Collection Musk Kashmir. So let me know in the comments if you've smelled or tried any of the ATTAR Collection fragrances, because I am honestly blown away by how high quality and amazing these smell. And I still can't believe that you can find these on Joma Shop for around 69 to like 70 bucks. It's insane. Because when you see those deals, you know you gotta just swoop up and get them while you can. But let me know if you have any favorites from this house. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Hopefully you liked it, and if you were new, consider subscribing because I love fragrance and I love talking about it. I've been Eli with Common Sense, and until the next time, bye-bye. It just kind of supports the rest of the fruits and the dark and Common Sense has stopped working.